first victory here on the main stage, and it might be an early question to pose, gentlemen, but what do you think? New Secret better than Old Secret?
I think it's still way too early to tell. I think the Old Secret had a much better win rate, right, as a team overall. I think the highest win rate of history of competitive Dota teams. They had like a 70% win rate.
But the way they've been playing, it's much different. It's really hard to compare them directly.
Yeah.
Well, we do already have a draft underway, so we'll hop into that in just a moment here. Game number 2, though, we look to Virtus.pro to see how they could change things up, and I'm sure that has to stem from the draft itself. Leading off with a strong punch would be right, and their 1-2 punch is going to be Tusk Visage, so we're in for a treat. We get to see the famous Lil Visage here, so that's got to feel better right at the start, I imagine. Right, Lumi?
Yeah, Lil Visage, I think yesterday he finished the game with like 9-1 or something from a support position. Obviously, Visage is a hero that KSs pretty hard. Your nukes are fast, and you have a 4-second cooldown. He knows how to micro the bird, and we saw Puppy playing Visage extremely well that last game. I think, Winter, you were laughing at one point that Visage was like level 8, and their offlane Slaughter was like level 5. Yeah. So he's a greedy support, but when you make it work, he's an amazing support.
You're gonna grab up the Misery Slardar. I hope he's not getting sick of playing this hero there, Winter, because he's been playing it a lot. And, you know, you got to consider last game he had a very, very slow start, but he still made a huge impact in those team fights.
Yeah, because he sort of came back after the team actually helped him win in the team fight, so he actually got goal experience. Otherwise, he would be really far behind. I feel like Slardar is not an offlane that you could leave him alone. You need to go help the Slardar at some point. You can't just ditch him and just, oh, you're off to your own devices. Because he can't jungle. Like, there's no way the hero can come back into the game.
What do you think would be the ideal partner for someone like Silly? In your dreams, Slardar lane.
Lich.
Gonna get wards. It could be something to look to reach out for here, but we'll have to see.
It's not only that though, because Lich is such a good hero versus the Slardar. So if you grab both on the same team, it not only helps the Slardar, but it eliminates one of his potential counters that's in the game.
I think if you're not helping a Slardar, you should run something that really distracts the supports, like maybe gank mid, gank top. I think when we saw Pylai playing the Bounty Hunter the other day, they also ran it with the Slardar, and it's not like the Bounty went into the Slardar's lane and did stuff, but Bounty was doing so much on the other parts of the map that the supports were forced to rotate and help those portions, and Slardar did get farm in that game. But we're going to see the same opening here from Team Secret. It's going to be a dying once again.
Or the other way you can actually help the Slardar is like you have another tanky support like the Undying and you go to the lane. I feel like when you're up against the Visage this game, you kind of want to pressure him. You don't want the Visage just, you can pull however much you want and you can take the lane and you give the Visage a free level 6. I think against a support like Visage, you want to be pressuring him. You want to be trying to kill the Visage in the laning phase. You cannot just let the Visage just free farm.
Yeah, punish him for being a very greedy support as well. But Ban's going to be coming out from Team Secret. They get rid of the Queen of Pain here. Virtus.pro, you know, G seems to be like their front runner. You know, how much emphasis do they have to make sure they secure a good comfort hero for him? And do they decide to go back for something like the Shadow Fiend? It is Radiant side. It is still not available, actually. First ban on that. But another G
nice
classic.
Try.
Yeah, right? Got me on that one. But I imagine that they don't want to be waiting too long for the G hero. He's not known to have the deepest hero pool. I mean, sometimes a far stretch for him is having to pull out like a TA. But that's already going like 2-3 deep for him.
TA on Radiant side is more valuable as well.
10 seconds
for the ancient stacking. So yeah, we'll see. It's an option that they have.
5 seconds.
But I'm looking to see whether they want to go for the Gyrocopter versus the Undying. I think it's one of the better carries versus the Tombstone.
Well, now TA is also taken out, so...
Oh, G, what are you going to do?
I mean, G used to be known for his Storm Spirit, but this is definitely not a Storm Spirit patch.
There's still Lina though. Lina is one of the mid heroes that he used to play.
Yep. Lina could help. He burst, but you know, potentially Secret building up a lot of tank here. So they're gonna need a serious amount of firepower if they want to burst through these bodyguards already. Plus, I imagine they want to build something to go along with the Tusk. You can't have just Tusk be thrown out in the front and kind of stuck fending for himself. So what do you think about maybe a Spear Breaker? Good classic duo to go with the Tusk, maybe? Night Stalker's also in the pool and still available.
Yeah, could be good options. The last game, the Spear Breaker didn't feel like it did a lot at the start of the game because, like Lumi mentioned as well, they have a mid-Wind Ranger which is very difficult to gank. So SB has not much opportunities to make a rotation towards the middle lane.
But they shut down the Slaughter really hard though.
10 seconds
Yeah,
to
it did.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if he's actually needed to be there all the time because Lina alone can actually zone the Slaughter herself.
Right.
We also can't forget about that Brood Mother, gentlemen, still out there and available here. Do you think Virtus.pro might be considering here for Mr. DK Phobos?
It's definitely really good versus the Undying. If you plan to put the Undying as a support position, you don't do anything against a Brood if you're Undying.
I think Brood, as good of a hero it is, I think Virtus.pro right now is drafting with Meeple in mind. So far, Visage already very single target oriented. I mean, can't draft.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, like if you draft Brood, then I think Meeple is fine. Obviously, it comes down to the last couple of picks and the bans as well. So
the only thing that would make me potentially sway the other way is it's kind of a known matchup that Meepo is very good against the Queen of Pain and Secret to ban it out. I felt like they could have coaxed maybe Virtus.pro into, or bait them into getting a Queen of Pain, and then they could have grabbed a Meepo and had a good lane matchup there. But I also wouldn't put past the idea that Meepo could still come out from the back pocket of Secret here. Virtus.pro taking a while for their second phase pickup, and they're going to go for a Rubik here.
So every time a Rubik gets selected, we always talk about how he's very weak in lane, and to me, Virtus.pro is one of the team that really minimizes this weakness very well. Whoever that plays a Rubik always has a great start, and I believe FNG will be playing it. And so far on this patch, BP is 100% on this hero. Granted, sample size is only 4. One of the most amazing teamfight support when you get the right spells.
So with the Rubik, it actually tells us that that's very minimal chance that there will be a Brood from Virtus.pro because it means that Tusk is a offlaner. Unless you're gonna do some mid-Tusk shenanigans.
Mid-Rubik?
Okay, I know this is like very in there and very kind of risky, but BP, Venge, Rubik, Visit, Tri-Lane, like they've done this before, right? Just single target burst. I know there's a Meepo that's you're gonna have to ban on phase 5 or ban 5. It is a scary nuke heavy lane.
It's still quite difficult to go into the Tri versus Undying and Gyro though. So I feel like maybe they're just gonna play defensive with the Rubik and the Visage, just pull and take levels, and Rubik will be roaming and stacking. It'll be interesting to see if the Invoker is actually going to be Exort or Quaswax. Quaswax would be really good versus Slada, and Exort would have more synergy maybe with the Rubik and the Tusk. So when you're roaming to gank, you have the Sunstrike available.
I do want to take a step back to this Gyrocopter pick from Secret, because Winter, you were talking about it in the last match while it was going on. Envy one of those kind of players who he is not afraid to just stand and plant and fight to the death if it's for the best of his team, getting out all that firepower. I mean, it's something we don't see from a lot of the other teams out there. Do you think that's just a valuable asset to have, and with the the way the meta and all these games seem to be panning out?
I don't think it does. I don't think it affects him if he's playing another hero. It's just his mindset, he's not afraid to die as a carry. It doesn't matter if he's playing a Gyro or he's playing an Ember. He wants to do a lot more for his team to make sure that they win a fight. Him living in the fight is not his priority. He wants to win the fight for his team.
I think in particular when you're kind of going in there and soaking all of damage, and when you have an Undying Tombstone in the background kind of generating zombie, it's much more valuable that you're tanking up front as well for the team. Do you see the Disruptor here? Pretty, not exactly a classic because we've seen it so much now for Team Secret. Yeah. Pretty amazing hero against kind of a forecaster from BP.
Pretty good versus the Snowball.
Yeah.
You don't want to be snowballing into the Static Storm, so you have to be very careful about that.
They have great ways to take advantage of a glimpse setup into that. The Slaughter Crush, back into a Tombstone, into a call down, Kinetic Field with the call down together. Whew. Could be a highlight-worthy game from Team Secret with the build-up they have. Lots of team fight emphasis already, just with the 4-man group they have right now. But we have to see here. Next pickup is going to be for Virtus.pro here. This comes after they've already banned out the Razor. We are not really known to play Razor a whole lot. He has more of a flashy player.
But
Razor's not so much.
There's not much options that the mid lane heroes are available for Secret that synergize very well with the lineup. Like if you want to use the starter M a lot, there's TA, but TA is also banned, so there are not many options for Weeha to have a mid hero that can synergize really well with the M damage. But we'll see what VP goes for their carry.
Any possibility of a Sven here? The armor's great against Slaughter. It kind of synergizes extremely well with Sunstrike, Rubik, stuns.
Yeah, I think
up your soul assumption.
It could be a good idea. Like the stun deals a good amount of damage, so it would give the soul assumption charges in the lane. But overall, it has very good applications with the lineup, and it's good versus the Slaughter.
And I think more importantly, it also is good for a potential Meepo pick on the other side.
Yeah,
you get the cleave, you get the AoE stuns. And of course, if oh no, we're gonna see that Venge carry again.
So I feel like they really wanted that Drow. Secret did a good ban on that, and I was like, well, maybe
maybe it's
poor man's Drow.
Yeah, it's a sign that it's gonna be Exalt Invoker as well, because if they want to play aggressive with the Venge, Rubik, and Visage, you want to have the Sunstrike to help you win the lane.
This isn't surprising. If anyone's been watching Virtus.pro at all, not a surprise to see.
So are they
them
just
pull
going
this
to go
one
for
out.
the meatball again? Because what is Weeha going to play this game?
The thing with the
10
Meepo is that we
seconds
saw
to go.
Black's Invoker going for EMP Tornado, and it just tore through Weeha's
5
Meepo in the
Oh
lane
yeah,
stage.
that game the meatball really got controlled so much by the EMP.
Of course, and you have excellent roamers in the form of, well, we're gonna see a Zeus.
Ooh, haven't seen that guy in a while.
You have Sunstrike to help your team, I have Wrath to help my team.
What do you think about the synergy though with Zeus? I mean, he's not getting any assisted global on top of his.
Yeah, but they have a lot of burst, you know, call down. You know, Undying deals a lot of damage, and obviously Zeus is a lot of burst. So among the heroes, they have a lot of burst damage to focus one hero down, and it gives vision. The other thing is it gives vision for the glimpse. So I see synergy between the Zeus and Disruptor in that fact.
What about the tough task he has ahead of him here? A Tusk getting in his face. You know, he's not one to know for a BKB, so there's potential burst from
He's
Visage,
gonna
from
have
Evoker.
to solve that by getting mobility items.
Mobility?
Force Staff, Dagger,
You'll step there. Yeah.
possible.
I think he really needs his team to really sit in the front. We talked about MV tanking up in
10
front.
seconds
We
to
you have the Undying, you have the kinetic field. He really relies on his teammate as well as,
5
like Winter
seconds
point out,
remaining.
some good item purchases. But draft-wise, how do you feel about it, boys?
I'm on board of the Invoker, you know. They are gonna play very aggressive, so I think the aggressor will be paid off this game.
I think Virtus.pro are going to look to try to bounce back and take this to a 3-game stretch. We're going to see, though, if that's going to be the case or not. Let's go ahead and send it over to our casters now. It's going to be Merlini and Mr. Odie Pixel. Gentlemen, take it away.
Something that we see every day.
Zeus is back.
It's going to be an interesting one. Obviously, Secret, kind of sticking with what worked in the first game, the fact that they're running Misery, yet again on the Slardar, they're keeping everybody on his gyro, Paladai picking up the Undying, so seeing some kind of repercussions from the first game, and they smoke up onto G. This is not the way the Invoker wanted to start his match off. The first blood there for the mid laner. Weeha picking that up for the side. Well, they may just see if they can find more here. Puppey is yet to skill. Surfy. Maybe he can get the vision for the goods, but no, looks like it's not going to happen. But nonetheless, a great way there for the side of Secret to start the game off, getting that kill onto the Invoker. And I mean, why the Invoker this game? Why do you feel the VP have picked this up for this matchup?
It's kind of maybe to dissuade the Meepo pick, as well as just giving them maybe a little bit more global presence. They really seem to lose out on the lanes the last game, and with Sunstrike, perhaps they can kind of alleviate that. But this early game is already really bad for them. They wasted 2 TPs, one on top, one on bottom. They didn't scout out any wars, and they gave up the first blood, and as well as one of the runes. So we already see the bottle on the Zeus. Zeus kind of fell out because all the mid laners could just dump on him in that mid lane. But with Invoker's like decently strong, but not as hard to deal with as like a Leshrac from 6.84 or a Queen, let's say. So actually, Queen's a pretty good matchup for Zeus, but most of the lane dominators are out, so he can actually survive in lane and get some good farm.
Okay, and in terms of obviously like the lineup here for the side of VP, the fact that we're seeing Illidan again bringing back that Venge carry, something that we do see him do kind of in the odd occasions, and it's going to be very nice in this lane here with Lil going to make it that hard for Misery to get that XP out. And top lane, Snowball's actually going to come out here onto Gyro. Rocket Barrage has already been down, so they'll just be able to force back Phobos in. So this is going, okay, they've got the glimpse onto Phobos. This man might be a dead man. The Rocket Barrage again, bringing Phobos slow. He tries to tango himself through the trees. That's a second kill here for Secret. And a
That
kill for
did not
Yi.
look like that was 600 range. This thing's supposed to be 600 range. I don't know how he pulled that off.
On the straight D ward there from the side of Secret. I mean, already in the first minute of this game, things looking up for the side of the Dire, and the fact that VP, they're going to need to do something big this game. The first game was kind of nothing short of a disaster here for the side of Virtus.pro, so game 2, they're going to need to step it up, and it's not going to be easy to do after a start like that. Bottom lane, getting the Grave Chill onto Misery. He'll put the sprint, trying to get himself away from FNG, and Rubik can't quite find the range there for telekinesis, so Misery's going to be fine.
The Zeus pick was pretty unusual, though. Generally, you want like a physical damage dealing mid laner when you have Slardar on your team, but
Phobos again. Straining hits. They might just go for this here. They can't quite dive here with MP being a little bit too low on light. They've got to place it safe. He does have a Manga ready. Phobos is just going to salve himself back up so he can stick in lane. And at the moment, as you said, G at the moment with a slight edge in terms of CS against Weeha Zeus.
That's a little surprising considering the bottle start, but he's going to be completely okay. Let's see if he gets another rune. And Phobos, no mana left, no boots. He might die here.
He's got to be careful. This DD Zeus doing a lot against him, and Weehar's just going to chase it down. Oh, okay. He's going to give him some mercy here. So Phobos will be able to get away. Weehar wanting to just focus on getting himself back to mid. So. But nonetheless, it's going to force Phobos back to base, which in turn is just going to give them the more and more space in this top lane to get the farm up on his gyrocopter.
They have the early alacrity on Zeus too. Look at his damage. This is without like really that much stats. No talisman plus alacrity. He's hitting for like 120. It's super hard to outlast hit that. There's like almost no way you're going to deny that as a Zeus. So expect the CS to be a little out of control.
It's going to be interesting to see what G does with it, and the fact that we just don't see G Invoker that often, and obviously pulling out at a point like this very important game for the side, they must have a lot of faith in it, and so far in the mid lane, it looks to be on point in terms of finding the farm. Misery, doing as he did in the first game here, just making himself useful elsewhere across the map, as he wasn't having the best of time in lane, and I mean, surely this kind of does hurt the side of VP, the fact that there's no one in this off lane, and you kind of pick the Venge surely to get those early kills.
Well, they're trying to pick off Zeus. Zeus is very susceptible to ganks. Undying's kind of sitting in the same position that he was last game, but let's see, Vision for Radiant, Vision for Dire. It looks like they see FNG at least.
Yeah, let's see if they can get the lead in. G gonna go in with the cold snap, and that's gonna allow the Snowball to follow through. Misery is there, get the 3-man crush off it, and now they'll try and turn it. G with the damage with the lack of G is enough to bring down Weehar, not quite. And G, oh, they'll turn around, they'll get the Invoker here. Misery moving forward for more, the crush again onto Phobos, and then we have the follow-up damage, but nonetheless, getting that kill onto G, and that was off the back of VP initiating, and as you said, just really nice awareness from Secret preparing themselves for the aggression of VP.
They saw him, and you know, when your Zeus has vision of these two heroes, and you're not getting afraid of getting snowballed upon, you should be expecting another hero kind of sitting there, and they actually thought that they had vision.
Oh, telekinesis onto Weehar, he's fairly low as well, and this time they'll take him down. VP getting themselves a kill on the board, and Weehar just a bit out of place there as he came back down in the middle of the river.
Yeah, a little overconfident, maybe thinking that the Observer Ward is going to protect them, but it didn't catch out the Rubik.
Looking at the two safe lanes at the moment, how's Envy's farm compared to Illidan's? It's pretty even at the moment. So both of the position ones getting space. But again, kind of Illidan Venge, it's similar to kind of running a safe lane leaner in the sense that you've got a lot of single target damage, and you want to be dealing with this gyrocopter before Envy gets the amount of farm that he got in game one. Mid lane, just bursting down Dream. They'll drop the Doomstone as well, and Paladin just waltzing in. Just forcing the Evoker back out of the lane and allowing Weehar to catch back up in terms of farm here with the Arc Lining spam.
And same thing coming up from Misery, stack up the Ancients, Foral, and Gyrocopter, and Misery is actually really good at just moving around a lot early. Slardar is kind of...
Look at this snowball in again, but Misery gets in range, gets the double cross shot. The Zone Strike will connect onto Weehar, but they'll just turn. Looking for G. Weehar will go down. They will get the G kill in return. Secret trying to move forward for more. There's still a glimpse available on Puppy, and there we go. Bringing back Phobos here. They'll get the follow-up crush here, and they should be able to get the Phobos kill as well. So a 2-for-1 trade once again for Secret in the mid lane, and VP just can't come out on top in terms of these skirmishes. Just
the Slaughter is always there to counter after the snowball. He's also really good about his positioning. He doesn't get hit by the snowball, but he's still close enough to follow up with a 2-man crush after it. And Slaughter might actually be a decent first phase man versus Secret because of the way they played this. He's so effective even if he isn't able to stay in lane, as opposed to like the off-lane Tusk, who had some difficulty last game and a lot of difficulty in this early game and isn't able to connect on a relatively easy to gank hero like the Zeus. And now he's going to be level 6 pretty soon, and they have a lot more firepower to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, the Misery just is having a much faster paced game than in game one, even though the off-lane still isn't going great for him. The fact that he's finding these kills mid, he's level 4 6 minutes in. In game one, he was only level 2 at 6 minutes. And we already saw how much he could do, even with that slow start in game one. So having that kind of quicker boost, and as you said, closing on the level 6 quicker, it's going to be pretty terrifying for VP to fight into.
And this is kind of the weakness of VP's draft last game and this game. It's like, okay, we don't really care if you're Vengeful Spirit free farms. We don't really care if you're Lina free farms because we have better late game and we're going to dominate the other sides of the map. If it were something like a Spectre or an Anti-Mage, you'd be like, oh crap, we can't let him get a fast Radiance or a fast Battle Fury, but it's like, it's just a Venge. You're not worried about the late game.
Oh, top lane, the wave coming in. Both of us have to be very careful here. Unless that Puppy can't feel that he can get a potential glimpse off, so. He's going to back up, and we're going to see the side of VP this time try and react to this. But it's going to be a hard fight to take. You've got level 7 on the gyrocopter. He has picked up the helm as well, so he's got that extra tank ability. It's going to be a hard kill, and they're going to commit themselves quite a bit to it here. We'll see if they do find anything, but Secret is pulling the wave back, playing it safe. So VP, they're going to have to move in quite aggressively if they want to try and actually catch out any of the heroes on the side of Secret. We'll see if anyone from Secret comes out that little bit too far, as I would love to find the swap, but it's just not happening. And Secret are playing this very, very safely, Ben.
Yep, smoke's almost out. Good read by Secret. And they know that VP's pressure. They're pressured to make moves because of a safe lane Venge. Safe lane Venge not farming, expect a gank in one of the other lanes. Weeha sits at his tower in the mid. All 3 heroes sit at the tower in the top. And they even expected like a smoke into a place in Reservoir Ward into the top gank. So, Secret is just super prepared for this early game.
Yeah, I mean, one of the synergies as well that we didn't really mention, but the fact that you've got that Thunder God's Wrath there to get the vision for Puppey, to get the glimpses out. And we're going to see a swap onto the Puppey now, and with the Sunstrike and the telekinesis holding him in place, they do end up finding themselves a nice pickup. Secret maybe contemplating going in. There is a haste rune here on Weeha. He's got to be careful of the magic missile from Illidan and the chain stun if they followed through with the snowball or the telekinesis, so he plays it safe. And that's VP getting themselves a kill on the board and slowly closing the gap and the lead that Secret has created here in the early game.
But the Vengeful Spirit is just a Vengeful Spirit at the end of the day. Yeah. Already 600 net worth behind the Gyrocopter, who has this Ancient stack available to him in the later game. So this, you have to be like really far ahead of the opposing carry if you want to succeed as the Vengeful Spirit, unless everyone else is doing pretty well. I guess G's has his Midas already, so he's actually doing pretty nicely in the mid lane. Although you would hope that he would be further ahead versus Azus.
Yeah, and I think as you were saying with the Venge as well, the fact that in terms of farm potential, the Gyro's always going to be ahead. There's no way that Illidan can farm as quick as he, unless he's farming kills. We'll bring back Puppey, there'll be the glimpse back on FNG, but they're still got the telekinesis, followed up by the burst from Visage. Give themselves 1 kill here. Might need to get himself out though, and then FNG could be trouble. This cooldown from Envy's beautiful. Hits onto 3 with the rocket barrage. They find Illidan as well as FNG. They'll look for Lil. Can he get himself out? No, the Thunder God's Wrath there from Weeha. No mercy spared as he picks up a double kill.
This is like exactly the same thing from last game, where they just get destroyed by the early call down from Gyrocopter, again connecting on 3 heroes.
Yeah, this has been exactly the kind of play that you'd expect to see coming out in this patch when you run the Gyrocopter, just turning up to these early fights. 10 minutes in, the fact that EE, 4 assists and 1 kill, he's been very mobile across the map, and he's still maintaining the fact that he's very close to the net worth of an Invoker that he's running with the Midas, and that has been given a lot of space in the mid lane.
And it looks like EE going again for the HOD build. Yeah, so many Ancients available to him. It's actually kind of crazy. They do have a lot of good setup for the Sunstrike though. Venge Stun, Lift, even Visage Burst can be used. Snowball, so pretty much all of their heroes.
There we go, clearing this up. Doesn't need the life still there because of the fact that the Undying's Tombstone. The zombies tanking up the Ancients. They'll be able to clear this and Money in the Bank. Phobos here with an Invis rune. Can you go for the solo? Nah, that's Sentry. He's been rumbled. Misery just pops down the Amplifier to give him the heads up that he knows he's there. And it really is going to all be down, I feel, at this point to G. There was a lot of pressure on G in the first game to perform on the Shadow Fiend, and he just had a really hard time just playing up against Puppey's Visage.
Wasn't it VP yesterday that had like a Reservoir Ward over here and they kind of jacked the Ancients?
Yes, and they kept coming back to fight for it. And this game, and I mean, they're just not doing it. Even after the game 1, where they saw how farmed DE got, they're just kind of prioritizing other things on the map, which, in the long term can evidently from game 1's performance cost them a lot.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't go for that same method. I think it was versus Shiki's TA that kind of had to rely on that Ancient stack to catch up, but yeah, they kind of just let it go for free. Not even Observer Ward on the high ground, no Observer Ward on the left side, no aggressive smokes. This is not the same VP that we're used to seeing.
It certainly is surprising. But as we said, maybe G can do some magic with the Invoker when he picks up. In terms of his farm, it looks like he is going to go for that pushing bird hit. Pick up the old Necros.
They have to win team fights early. You can't go for a super late game build with the Invoker. You have to win the mid game fights.
Okay, and here we go from the side of Secret. Moving forward, we'll see if VP are going to be prepared for this one. And we've got FNG on the sidelines here. He's going to dispel the smoke onto Puppey, and he just TP straight out, realizes this is not the place to be. Moves back onto Lil. They'll try and burst out Puppey, but he comes the call down. Even with the Sunstrike, it's not enough to kill Puppey. They've found one. They're going to find Illidan as well. 2 clean pickoffs here for the side of Secret. And now they'll look to take the tier 1. They may even be able to get the familiars here as well. And, those familiars, they only just got resummoned, so now no familiars for 160 seconds. Really painful here for the Visage.
Wow, I can't believe Secret like moved to the left side. If they had just ran straight through the mid lane, would have smoke popped, Observer Ward would have seen it, and then they would have just all gotten out. But it's actually crazy how Secret skirted around that. And VP seemed like they anticipated that. Well played.
And the Secret anticipate this, the smoker from VP themselves. Looking for the Wrath Trap, but it's going to be back up here for Secret. Weehard turning up as well. The Sunstrike coming down onto Puppey, they'll kill him this time. Telekinesis now onto Pilot Guy. VP moving in. Misery and Weehard coming in for the sidelines here. They do need Envy to turn up to this fight if they want to try and turn. And looks like VP will come out on top here. They find 1 kill. They go into the tower. Misery trying to move back in and hit Envy again with the call down. It's going to connect onto Lil and Illidan. Pilot Guy drops the tombstone for the sidelines, and Illidan, he should go down and he will. Killing spree now for Envy, and now they're trying to chase down for more. G trying to get himself out with the slow from the zombies, keeping him at bay. He pops out the Necro, he's trying to turn. Telekinesis not Pilot Guy, but it doesn't matter. Double kill for Weehard. Misery crushes down onto FNG's Ruby. And they lose the Disruptor, but take 4 kills yet again. And Secret continuing to dominate the series as a whole. And VP, they didn't have their Weetabix this morning, Ben.
The Tombstone call down, this is just too much for them to handle. And I mean, at this point, they have worse late game and they're losing their early game. So they kind of just have to outplay Secret in these team fights, but it's just so damn hard.
I mean, in terms of kind of playing from behind as well, what is the backup plan for VP with the kind of lineup that they have? Because I really feel when you run a core Vengeful Spirit, she's not really the comeback carry.
You need Roche. I think that's one of the benefits of having a Vengeful Spirit on your team, and maybe a lot of split push with a BOT, Necro 3, Invoker. Those are kind of what you're hoping for in the mid game to get you by, but honestly, they have to win the team fights. Like, they aren't able to kill anyone really quickly. I guess they got the Disruptor, but if the Undying stays alive and is just able to drop multiple decays, and the Tombstone, they don't really have that great of a lineup to kill the Tombstone, especially in like a heavily fogged area like that. They're going to keep losing them. So I don't know. They can't just eliminate people quickly enough in the team fights. I think that Pilot Eye's been playing really well in the Undying too. He always soul ripped the target, anticipating the Sunstrike, and they were able to save Puppey on the bottom gank because of that. So as long as they have like good stick usage, good soul rip usage, and good positioning, they should kind of edge out VP in each of these team fights.
Well, let's see what the plan is from VP. They're just getting the push on the top lane. Trying to take some more towers down. They've got more money in the bank. Got Lil hanging around the sidelines as well, but
Secret. Misery has his blink. That's really bad. And they have a reserve reward over here.
And I think VP realized the fact that Secret are all off the map at the moment. They can't push out too far. Yeah, Misery just revealing himself top as well. So VP making the greater call. Question is if they want to try and go back in here. Lil,
they see Lil.
Outside.
They have the vision for Glimpse if he stays around.
I mean, this is what VP needs to do at the moment. If they're able to play it safe, kind of pull Secret around the map, you know, reacting to the pushes of VP, they can buy space and time here for G to get the farm he needs on his Invoker. And he is slowly getting there. I mean, he's keeping up with Envy's farm on the Gyrocopter, and this is a Gyro that's had 3 kills and 8 assists. So with the Midas, it's working out here for G. But they've still got a long way to go before they're on top of Secret again. I mean, in terms of the overall difference in net worth, it's hovering around just over 4K, but it is starting to kind of even out. And we are having a little bit of fun here. And, okay, they're going to go in. Now to VP. What's the plan here? You've got Illidan at the moment on the top lane. TPs are coming out to the mid lane, so they send some things up, and understandably so, with the lineup of Secret, they know that they've got the tools to take it down fairly quickly. The question is, do VP have the tools to fight? Throwing the shards in, Secret they're going to disperse, they don't want to be caught grouped up. Up here on the high ground, the first target gets off the Static Storm here. Cooldown from Envy's going to be whipped, they've got a telekinesis from FNG. G moving in as well with the damage on Envy. Envy trying to get both the high ground, but the Warrior Punch is there. The Solar Submission as well, they'll actually find Envy as well. So Puppey and Envy down. A very nice fight there for VP, and Secret getting rumbled, and here comes VP with the cleanup into the Roshan pit. They'll take down the Tombstone. With the damage that G's got here with the Forge Spirits, I don't know if Secret can recontest this here. Misery's trying to go back in with the crush, but the swap's done beautifully done by Illidan. They'll get Misery, they will lose the Vengeful Spirit, but space and time created as Virtus.pro take Roshan, get the Aegis onto Invoker, and they'll get themselves out as well. Very nice fight there from VP in the pit.
Holy cow, I did not expect that sort of reaction coming out from VP. They were there, they all TP'd at the same time, and that call from VP was incredibly well timed. And they didn't have the positioning advantage. VP kind of filed down this cliff and only got hit by like a one-man static storm, and were able to kind of dissect Secret, even with the cliff tombstone advantage. But the Necro book is really strong in these team fights, and Secret, without BKBs, are still somewhat vulnerable to the damage coming out.
Absolutely, I mean, as you said, and the fact that G's going to have the Necro 3 out next time with him. Level 12 as well, so these Forge Spirits certainly packing a punch in these fights, and whether it's taking down Roshan or just locking down onto one of the heroes on the side of Secret, that's going to do a lot. We can see Envy at the moment trying to work towards his S and Y now, on top of the helm. There we go, level 3 Necro book here for the Invoker. And VP are not going to make this win as easy as game 1 was for Secret. They're going to do their best to try and turn the series around. Snowballing, Puppy's already laid down the standing top. Is the sun struck enough? No, it's not. Emily creeps around. Phobos is going to run away, but there is the glimpse back here into the kinetic field. I'll be getting incredibly low, but they'll get Phobos. No backup here from the side of VP, and Secret will be able to get the clean pick off.
He was like way in the middle of creeps too. Like even if he didn't drop the static storm, I think that's a very low percentage kill, as long as there's creeps to split the sunstrike.
And VP now are going to try and do something here, even without Phobos. I mean, they've still got a very...
They know that Tombstone's down. That's pretty good for them. Not worth sacrificing Tut's life for, but you take what opportunities you can get.
If they get the swap, I think Pie's dead, then they do. Straight up telekinesis, so the damage from Jinzu, too much. Puppy coming in with the magic missiles there as well, and he's just going to melt. Double kill for G. They will lose Illidan and his Misery during the fight. We are trying to turn around with the outlining spam, and Envy stay on the high ground. Then Nagos Wrath comes out, FNG earning himself up. Is he still going to go down? The homing missiles coming in. Looks like FNG will die here, but now they're trying to trap it. We are going to get a solar suction. Crush from Misery, though, will finish off G. G with the triple kill at the moment. Though, can he get himself out of this one? The Familiar's coming back in. They do have stuns available, and yeah, G gets off the Ghost Wall. So they do have yet another very nice fight there for the side of VP. They may lose the Aegis, they lose both Illidan and FNG, but the fact that G picks up a triple kill, he's now got 2.5k gold in his bank. Maybe the Invoker, you know, there's a reason why it was drafted here, and VP have something special up their sleeves with G's players here, because so far he's been on point in these team fights.
Ooh, going with the Blink Dagger next. Yeah, he has been really spot on in doing the damage. I think he does like so much damage combined with the Venge aura for his Necro books. It's actually crazy. And with Alacrity, and on top of that with the Wave of Terror, people are just melting. Slaughter is not that tanky. Not really that much armor on the side of the Dire's side.
And here we go, top lane VP. They're going to go for a push, and they should make very short work of this tower.
Yeah, Secret haven't been able to get like the ideal team fight ever since that Roche fight. They want like Tombstone in a great position. If they try and go in, then you kind of crush them with Slithering Crush, and then you drop a Static Storm, Kinetic Field after that with Zeusol to scout out all their positioning. But nothing's really been ideal for them after that. All these fights have been way too hectic, and VP kind of blindsiding them with their approach in some of these fights.
And this could be a pretty big fight here. VP groups are ready with a push. Secret are going to respond here. It's going to be a question of who jumps in first, and while Misery might do involuntarily as the swap's there. Insta stun. Static Storm is beautiful, and here comes the Envy with the round. Oh my goodness! They get free there! Double kill for Envy. Looks like they will just be able to get a little up, but no, he still goes down. Sorip's there. 4 heroes down on the side of VP. And a beautiful crush there from Misery, setting up a massive Static Storm from Puppy. Secret still showing the side of VP that they can very much come out on top of these team fights by a huge advantage.
That's rough. There's so much damage coming out. Zeusol and a crush already with a call down. They don't have a mech on the side of VP. Maybe kind of waiting for that from Visage, but it's still a few hundred gold away from that. And they felt confident because of the last few team fights, but this time, no Aegis of the Immortal, no mech, and of course, a much better executed fight from Secret where they're actually able to hit some of their AoE ultimates. So VP just hoping they could catch Secret again by surprise.
Look at this, leading forward here. He's going to bring back Gyrocopter, got the stun as well. Look at all these TPs coming through. Envy will get the cooldown though. Can he turn it down? A snowball there. He will find a kill onto FNG, but now with the punch from Phobos, they've got the slow out shards as well. Envy trying to turn around. Is he just going to live it? He looks like he's with a soul repeal. He's going to stay alive. They can't kill him. Double kill for Eternal Envy. And even with all the TPs in the world coming out from VP, they just couldn't kill him underneath their own tower.
Wow, it actually was looking pretty good for VP.
Oh, Misery with the crush onto 2. Twilight Die moving in with its game. The snowball will come out. Can they get everybody? Get the soul rip. Twilight Die doing every kill. They can't just save Envy. They'll get Phobos as well. And just beautiful play here from the side of Secret. A Sunstrike comes out. It nearly gets Puppy, but he's fine. He's going to be able to walk that one off. And my goodness, Misery with these crushes. He's outdoing himself, and there's a reason why they seem to just go for the Slardar for him time and time again. If it doesn't get banned out, they will take it for Misery, and you will suffer for that if they let him have it. 3 kills, 11 assists, and the crushes every single time just catching VP off guard.
VP thought they could take that fight. It was like, okay, we have 1 hero there, we're gonna TP in with 3, but they didn't count for the glimpse from Puppy. Puppy glimpsed back the Vengeful Spirit, and that's a lot of their damage. And then the other 2 TPs are taking like, 4 or 5 seconds, and it's so hard for them to file in one like that when you're kind of deal with like a heavy artillery from Gyrocopter as well as like a low cooldown stun from the Slardar. So they just kind of filed into their death there, but it's kind of what they were trying to do with the Roshan pit yesterday. It's like, we'll throw enough bodies, eventually we'll win. They don't have that many bodies left to throw, though.
And having a look at the difference now in terms of gold, it's the swing back up for VP, but now straight back down to Secret to ban. 10k lead, leveling off at the moment. So VP certainly on the back foot here. Mihal's going to start working towards that Aghanim, and he's a fair bit of the way towards it at the moment. I mean, I guess it will be there. What do you think? We can see Weehar picking up a Bloodstone or an Octarine first this game on the Zeus?
Yeah, I think Bloodstone's fine.
Okay.
Bloodstone's just generally much safer, especially when you're getting as many kills as Secret is. Octarine is decent, but I don't know if he can actually be able to dish out that much damage. He does die if Invoker catches him.
And look at this, Misery, just the master of stacks. Is he going to be able to get it off again? He is. And so much money here for EE on the Gyrocopter. This is absolutely disgusting. He's going to be so far ahead, and he's even found himself a DD. Going to make it that easier to clean up. And, VP just trying to get their own ancients, but in comparison, it just looks so shallow and hollow because EE picking up pretty much a quintuple stack here. So much farm now for the Gyrocopter. 15k coming up in terms of net worth.
This is good information though for the other teams that are going to face Secret later on in this tournament, is that they really utilize those ancient stacks and having to deal with those in some way, either dropping a sentry to block them, smoke gank, have a ward up here or on the left side that has to be dealt with. Or just take down the T1 tower so you can potentially take it down themselves. But VP has, I don't even know if they like have an idea that they've been utilizing him so much. If they had time in between games, they could have watched a replay from game number 1. But in this back-to-back match, I highly doubt it.
Yeah, I think if any of the teams as well from this tournament, if they're watching this game, you've got to deal with that. You've got to know that they're always going to look for the ancient stacks, and I'm pretty sure as well Secret, when given the option, they do prioritize the Dire side, and you can see why they're just utilizing the stacks to a T, and the fact that they can go for those Roshan attempts with Misery Slardar.
Yeah, and on the Radiant side, it's not as easy because if you stack, you can't really protect mid as easily, which is what he was doing in the early game to counter the snowball ganks. So the Dire plus Slardar is not only for the Roche, but because of the mid to ancient rotation that Misery has been utilizing so well.
Here we go, Misery. Jumps in with a telekinesis from FNG. Beautiful reactions. Static Storm's down and Ever 2 trapped in for VP, and Envy moves in. The cooldown drop. They're going to look for Lil. They're going to find Phobos here as well. Glimpse back on Diligent, bringing him into the center of this fight. He turns around with a wave of terror. G trying to do what he can with the kills we do, but it doesn't matter. Triple kill for a godlike Eternal Envy Gyrocopter, and VP can't get anything in return.
Envy is godlike.
This is crazy hit. 12 kills, 11 assists, 1 death. He's been involved in 23 of the 29 kills for the side of Secret. This is Gyrocopter played to perfection here.
Yeah, really, the call-downs have been so incredibly good for them, but of course help from the rest of his teammates to set up. Everyone's locking place with Kinetic Field, people are getting Slytherin Crush, multiple heroes.
And there we go. Using the Dire advantage, they'll totally Roshan. And VP still with 3 members just respawning. There's any way they can get here in time. Damage is going to be too much. going to be able to get themselves the Aegis, and the next fight going to be even harder for VP, and we're seeing them time and time again take these engagements and lose numerous heroes and find nothing in return.
To continue living peacefully.
And the draft from FNG, I think if they play like they did yesterday, where they 5-man a lot earlier and do a little bit more solidly in their lanes, they can get away with position 1 Venge or Alina, but this game, the lanes didn't go as well as they expected, which then transitions you into this weird, awkward mid lane phase where it's like, okay, we have to take team fights.
Rest in peace. We'll get the telekinesis stun on to Misery. That's not going to be enough. Misery catches him out, Zeus.
But they're forced into this really awkward position where they have to force unnatural fights, and they're kind of caught out of position and diving more than they normally would, and not really feeling comfortable in the farm for farm trade.
And in fact, the Misery now with the butterfly, they're going to be ready to try and push up to the high ground potentially. There's an Axe on G, so we'll see what he can do in terms of the combos. It's going to be hard against this lineup.
Bobo's got glimpsed out. This is going to be a 45 at best for VP.
And he just goes up for the high ground. Fortification will come out from the side of VP. They're going to have FNG back up here as well for this defense. But they've got to look for a perfect fight here. Otherwise, this could be an easy set of racks here for the side of Team Secret. That's going to be the tier 3 gone. FNG steals the homing missile. He'll just send it out here onto Jara. Paladai drops the tombstone. They'll be able to take that one out as well. We're just waiting it out here. Illidan, he's looking to see if he can get a swap onto anyone.
Taking damage.
At the moment, Envy coming back in here. Pops the BKB and just goes to cooldown. It's going to hit onto FNG. FNG's going to call incredibly fast here. He'll go down. Illidan's being caught out by Misery. They'll find the bench as well, and he's just moving forward, looking for more. The damage is too much. Phobos might just go down, but no, the Deafening Blast pushing back Gyro, and they're going to lose the Aegis here on Envy. But they've already found 2 kills. Puppy takes a lot of damage for the Soul Assumption. The Soul Rip healing back up. Oh, the force up across the Sunstrike. Playing with death there, Puppy. And they'll look for the racks now. 3 heroes left for the side of VP. What can they do? Misery gets the blink cancelled here. They're just using the damage here in Jara to go for the racks. Trying to move forward here with the Familiars. I've got to be careful of the stuns, just in case it sets up a combo here for G. Now Misery jumping into Lil, who gets glimpsed back, and beyond godlike now for Envy. The Familiar stuns come out, but it's nothing more than just a bit of an irritation here for Secret, as they'll find the full set of racks. And there's nothing that VP can do. They're going to have Illidan back online. FNG sweeping in very aggressively, but he gets crushed straight away. Weehar's there as well to burst him down, and FNG getting deleted again from the fight. Okay, glimpse back onto Illidan, and he's going to be sent back to base, and now Weehar getting low. He's going to use the Bloodstone Suicide. Cooldown's been dropped onto G. They did manage to force Weehar out, but he's only going to be down for 14 seconds. And he's, he bought up the boost of travel as well before he did so he's going to be able to return straight to the fight here on the Zeus. And VP, I mean, they're making it hard for Secret, but Secret, they're still feeling fairly confident. Misery moving forward. Illidan hasn't got the swap for 15 seconds. There's still an FNG Rubik down, and there we go. Secret will finish off the racks, and VP will be able to find anything on the retreat. 6 seconds till swap, but trying to go back in, and there we go. Just smoke it up. Get Misery into the blink, but Standing Storm's been dropped as well. Phobos is down. BKB from Envy as he moves in onto Lil. Lil will be able to reach some of the Familiars, but Visage is down. They'll throw out the stuns. It's a triple kill for Envy. And at this point, Ben, I don't know what the plan is here for VP, because I don't think there's going to be a plan big enough to save them from this situation they're in.
Massacred inside their own base. And they really don't have anything left at this point. It's just an overall rough series from VP. I mean, I'm not sure. It's not the same team, and lack of teamwork, no good. Their early game was just super weak, but at the same time, Secret, I think, played really well around it. Just sacrificing, just letting the position 1 farm and taking 5v4 on opposite sides of the map, as well as Misery and Pi really helping out that mid lane, making sure that it goes really well for we. I think that the supports actually on Secret played exceptionally well this game. Paladai on Undying, healing up a lot. It's kind of hard to see his effects, but his Tombstone placement has been really good, as well as his Force Staffs and his defensive Soul Rips, and Puppy with his glimpses this game have been really, really incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it seems today so far from Secret, there's just not a weak link. They're just playing perfectly as a team, everyone outperforming themselves, and it's just too much for VP. VP just don't know how to deal with the playstyle of Secret, it seems, this morning. And Secret at the moment, I mean, the gold lead is over 25,000 now, 31 minutes in. It's bordering on the 1k a minute. which is that point where the game is nearly statistically impossible to turn around.
Is Misery getting an Octarine? I think he might be.
Huh?
Talking about what, 6-second stun or 6-second cooldown with 2.5 second stun.
That's pretty terrifying, especially with how well Misery can use them. And the fact that we've got Pilot Die, he's going to be working on an Aghanims. MV now with an MKB as well as the Butterfly. It's not looking great for VP. I mean, what do they have? I mean, I guess they've got G with the combos, but they're just not being flashy enough in these fights, and Secret just play around it. Of course, having the BKB on MV and closing the gap and just killing G before he can do anything of any great kind of disaster.
It's just
Secret.
one BKB though, so maybe that can kind of help him out, but Pilot Eye already in prime position to thwart this maneuver.
Oh, that's a lovely swap onto Envy. Can they burst him down? Yes, they can. Envy's down for the count. 80 seconds. They get the static storm off. FNG being kept alive. He will still go down. There's Snowball closing the gap onto Misery and Pilot. Won't be able to quite catch the starter. There's your Thunderghost Wrath coming out. Weeha's trying to get the damage from the sidelines. They might be able to find more. Magic Missile's going to connect onto Weeha. They're moving in. They're going to have the damage to bring him down. Solar Crest has been popped out by Puppy, but it's not enough to save him. Invoker ending the killing spree, getting the gold. They lose FNG, but they find 2 massive kills then. A very nice fight from VP, showing us that even at over 25k deficit, they're still in this. And Phobos, well, that Snowball, unfortunately, was heading, of course, for, I believe, Pi as he TP back to base and it dragged him in.
Wow, that was like the sickest initiation I've seen. He swapped him into a deafening blast as the blast was traveling. There's no way you can BKB out of that if the... that's actually crazy. You don't expect that. You only expect that if you think there's a Hex on the side of BP, maybe even a telekinesis, but the blast was actually incredibly well timed and great initiation by VP. Secret were prepared for it too. They expected a smoke rotation either from the mid or from the top side.
I mean, yeah, VP can continue to do that and just take out the jar at the start of the fight.
Unfortunately, they're going to have to make a move before the next Roshan respawn. It's going to respawn in, what, in just a couple of minutes at this point. So if they get another Aegis on to the gyro copter, it doesn't really matter how many fancy moves they can pull. They just won't have the ability to do it twice in the same team fight, unless NB gifts them, as he so often does.
DD being spotted out as well here. I'll give that over to Gyro. Envy's going to grab that one here. And I mean, as you said, it's going to be interesting to see if Secret do look for the fights there off of the back of that bad one without the Aegis, or if they are going to waste it out. But it looks like they're happy, still being positioned fairly aggressively. They know that that fight was only lost because they did get caught out by VP. If Secret can look to initiate the fights themselves, they should be fine. This pretty much does rest on Envy getting the BKB out, and this Blink Dagger on the Gyro, that's a bit of a novel one bet.
Yeah, I guess maybe to counteract the swap, but if he gets lifted or blasted during it, then it's not really going to do that much. And here we see a unusual pickup from the position 1. He's actually 8th in net worth on the bench, and he's forced to go into this like odd conglomerate of builds: treads, brazier, pipe.
And we can see VP there looking for something from the sidelines, but yeah, this ward and spot it all out, and I think VP realised a Secret backup. Not going to be able to find anything from this vantage point, and they're going to just back up and look elsewhere. Secret, they're not done. They want to do something, and they want to do something big. They want to try and close it. And there we go, Thunderghost Wrath to give the vision. They don't want to jump in that deep by the looks of it. In fact, they're looking to make a beeline round sneakily straight through the side doors here at the base. And Envy's going to reveal himself out. The question is, do VP try and fight into this? They're going to fall for this bait, and it doesn't look like they will. They'll play it safe, hugging the Ancient. So Secret won't be able to find anything here with this smoke.
Regeneration.
Oh, chicken on the side of Dire scouts out the Aegis and Cheese, and with VP pent up in their base, I believe with no smokes left to their name, should be pretty easy for them to take this one out. Yeah, the Blink Dagger, it is pretty strange. I don't think he would have gotten it if there weren't Avenge in this game, though. But ideally, you have Force plus Solar plus Glimmer to even prevent him from dying to that sort of jump.
And there we go. Aegis now on Jaria. This is when we're going to see Secret come out of the push. We've seen how they were even just looking for fights without it. The fact that they have now got it as well, there's no reason for these guys to hold back. Cheese on Misery on that Slardar, so he's going to be ready to jump straight into the base, go a little bit more aggressive. Not that he hasn't been already, of course. 5 kills, 18 assists, only died the once, and this is going to be kind of nice for them as well here. So we'll see if they're able to catch anyone out with this. Things coming down to the top lane, as we can see G with the Forge Spirits just trying to get the creep momentum back, favouring the side of the Radiant. He's checking for the vision here. Weeha is going to be able to get the D ward. Actually helped out here by Misery. And at the moment, VP just playing this very safe, keeping themselves in the base, knowing the pick-off potential of Secret is incredibly strong. And just kind of waiting for Secret to come for the high ground pushes. We saw already they gave a fairly decent fight at the bottom. They did still lose it though. But maybe now with G, as he gets a few more levels, he's saving up a lot of money as well. Depending on what his next big item pickup is, they might have the means to deal with Secret's high ground push.
They're just not fat farmed. It's just, what, Invoker, who's kind of in that sea of red, but even Puppy is richer than the Vengeful Spirit at this point. Doesn't hit very hard.
There we have it as well, as you said, Ben. Pick up the Misery. He's going to be able to get his amplifiers out every 3.75 seconds. The 6-second crush. 100% uptime effectively on the sprint. So, maybe a bit of a clowny item, but Misery knows what he's doing, and I'm sure he's feeling very confident at the moment. I mean, we've seen Misery blinking at 4 stars, really all this man needs to make things happen in this game. Whatever he gets on top of that is normally almost just luxury items here for the Slardar.
It's almost perma uptime on sprint.
Yep.
Gotta go fast. In all honesty though, I think it's pretty decent if you need the extra lockdown, although generally you'll be in a situation where you need BKB a little bit more, or AC adds more to your team fight, but with a Zeus on your team, you don't really need the extra physical damage because he outputs enough of his own and he can get an Octarine later. So it's good for extra control in the team fights, especially if you need the Force Staff to save your teammates.
And there we go, blinking forward, Envy. Teasing here with Virtus.pro. Secret coming in with backup. Another look to try and wrap around. The creep wave pushing in on the mid lane. Envy ready to just frontline it and start to take down the tier 3. And then it's back onto FNG. It's nothing spectacular though, and FNG will be able to nab himself the glimpse. So he may be able to use it in return against the side of Secret if anyone's kind of left out of position. Tombstone's been dropped. He'll get taken down straight away, but so will the tier 3 as Envy just clears that up with a huge amount of damage that he's surmounting there.
FNG's kind of daring Misery to jump him. He already has telekinesis kind of precast on him in case he blinks in, and then he'll drag him to his team, so Misery doesn't really want to take that bait unless he's approaching from the fog.
Oh, there's the swap, the blast as well, going on to Envy, but he does of course have that Aegis. Even though they kill the 4-star saving Envy. Misery might get caught out though. He does of course still have that cheese and he'll lead it straight away. Snowball following through here. Gaia moving in close to the rocket barrage. The Soul Rip keeping him alive. Envy will finally go down. The Aegis is lost, but so's a lot of the health for the side of VP. They've got to get themselves out of this one. Tornado will hold Envy back. Illidan to get down very low and they'll lose the Vengeful Spirit. FNG's going to get the mini glimpse back and blink forward from Envy. They'll finish that one off as well. Killing spree for Puppy. A buyback straight away from FNG. But VP will lose the mid racks to Secret. And it looks like they won't be able to do anything in return. Second set of racks down on the side of the Radiant. And Secret just maintaining their advantage here. And VP struggling to turn it. Misery moves in with the crush onto FNG. The follow damage is there. They've got a Deathling Blast come out, but G himself, he'll fall down. Triple kill, ultra kill for Envy as he just monsters around the base there with the BKB. G's brought back, so's Lil on the Visage, but they just can't do anything to stop it at this point. Secret turn their attention towards the tier 3. GG's called. It's all too much for VP, and Secret winning the first series of the day 2-0, and in a terrifying fashion as well, Ben. This is some top-class Dota 2.
Yeah, out economy in the first 10 minutes and then just straight out play after that. I think that the Slardar from Misery has been really incredible.
Well, there we have it. The music kicks in, and Secret win the series 2-0. It's not the end of the road, though, for VP. They will get a chance to bounce back in the lower bracket, but I believe it is still best of ones that they'll be knocked down into, so it's going to be a hard road for VP to come back up.